have you seen these digital detox cafes that are spreading in Northern Europe? Have you seen these things?
No, I'm not in Northern Europe, just as a reminder. Yeah, but
Well,
yes, I have not seen them.
everyone knows this. Anyone could look at you and say, he's not Northern European.
That guy's
Come
not
on.
Northern European. Yeah.
This is West Texas with a bit West Texas with a bit of Hollywood. That's what Robert Rose
with my lavender shirt on and my necklace. Yes, I couldn't be more West Texas right now.
No, literally this morning I'm on a call with a friend. We were getting updated and we were talking about the growth of these detox memberships and basically the way it works. And they're spreading. They're in the United States as well.
Yeah. I've heard of them. Yeah, I've definitely heard.
So you buy a membership and you go in and you have to put your laptop down, you have to lock it away. And you go in and you just...
Why would you even bring your laptop? I mean, that's it's like, why would you even bring
if you had it on you? It's like going into a Chappelle concert or whatever,
so
where you have to lock it up in a little baggie.
Sure. Okay.
So and you spend like $20 a month so that you can go to a place that has no Wi-Fi,
yeah,
no computers, no phones allowed. You got board games, you got print magazines, you got books. That's it.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
you don't think you're not.
No, I think it's good shtick, right? It's good shtick for marketing, right?
I think it's great marketing. But see, there's some people. Okay, there's some people you can work out at home. You have the equipment at home, but you don't do it because you have to go somewhere and lock yourself there for an hour or whatever to do it. It's the same thing with this.
Yeah.
This is like your Planet Fitness for digital detox.
Okay. To me, it feels like it's like going into a restaurant that only serves broccoli, right? It's like, okay, if you're going to go eat the broccoli, right? But you're not, but it's like, I'm not going to go to this thing if I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, sort of enforcing something that shouldn't need to be enforced if you're really wanting to detox. Or it's like,
but
you want to detox, go to a cafe and just don't bring your phone or don't bring your laptop.
But broccoli, I mean, at least this doesn't give you gas.
There you go.
Come on.
There you go.
And now for your listening pleasure, here's Polizzi and Rose, covering the week of media, marketing, and digital content news. Take it away, boys.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome to This Old Marketing, proudly brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. And I'm Robert Rose. And with me, as usual, is my pal, my colleague, and a guy who would never steal a hat meant for a kid at a tennis match, Mr. Joe Polizzi.
I read the headline on the hat guy.
Yeah.
So what was the deal? The guy just wanted the hat from
there's a tennis player,
yeah,
basically signing stuff as one does, right after a match. He's signing the little tennis ball, he's signing a T-shirt, and he signs a hat, and he's sort of mindlessly sort of signing stuff, right? So he's looking down, and there's the guy, the millionaire sort of CEO guy, is standing right, like leaning over right next to a young kid, and the tennis player hands up the hat to try and hand the signed hat to the kid, and the millionaire just snatches it away. The tennis player doesn't see it, and the kid is like, heartbroken, of course, and says, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on here?" And then, of course, the video ends. So you don't know
hat. That's you stole my hat. Well, I don't know what accent that. It's not even an accent.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It wasn't Polish, which is where this happened. But yes, it's. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just the little kid in him came out where he really wanted the hat.
I think the selfishness and entitlement came out in him is what I think came out. Yeah, it's
but how many millions does the guy have? Is he a millionaire? Like, hey, I have $1 million in my 401k account.
We don't know.
Or am I a millionaire where I'm just printing money here?
We don't know. That's kind of an irrelevant part of the story. It's just, old man douchebag basically takes hat from young kid is really the headline. But the fact that he's a millionaire and a CEO really shouldn't have much relevance to the story. But he then did double down and sort of just tried to justify his actions. And then, of course, the internet, as it does, went apoplectic. And basically, he then came out with kind of a half-assed apology.
And they later tracked him down at a Coldplay concert.
Exactly.
Is that
exactly
kind of how that worked?
Exactly. And the company he works for is changing their name to Cracker Barrel. So,
oh my God, the whole Cracker Barrel thing. I know people probably didn't see it, but our little logo for This Old Marketing last week
it was so good.
This Old Marketing as a Cracker Barrel logo.
We do these jokes for us, folks. We mostly do these jokes for us.
Yeah, we don't really care about. Well, we care. There's a few people.
Oh no, we care. We care.
We're trying. We're old.
Care.
We're old people trying.
Yeah.
Because we did realize that we are the longest running marketing news show.
100%.
Because everyone else died.
That's right.
That we're doing marketing.
They've all given up.
That's what it is.
They've all realized.
That what happens when you pass away? You just give up.
Yeah.
It's not like I have a choice. I'm giving up. I'm done. I'm going to go to the digital detox.
From day one, the whole point of this was you and me getting together and gossiping about the industry. And so,
well, what's funny is we've said this before on the show, but we started just doing catch-up calls.
Right.
And we're like, oh, let's just make it a podcast. Now, here's the thing. When you and I take a podcast break, we don't continue the calls. You and I never talk. Like, we only talk not like before and after the show, but we don't talk on a regular basis.
That's correct.
I actually thought we would. I thought every once in a while you'd reach out and say, hey, Joe, how you doing?
Look,
how are things?
You know, I am not the one who goes off into his little siloed hut there in Cleveland and basically shuts off the world for everybody. I would be glad to have our weekly calls. I still work for a living. So
working for a living, working for a living, working for a living, and I'm working. I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living. Huey Lewis
in the news. Yes.
Did you ever meet Huey Lewis in person?
I believe.
I met him in person. He's a very nice person.
He's a lovely person. I have met him as well. Yeah. That band was amazing. I mean, you talk about a tight band. They were the definition of great players.
Oh. Now, have you seen the We Are the World documentary?
I have.
He was probably my favorite. Huey Lewis in the interviews going back, kind of talking about.
Oh yeah, he was such a fan. I mean, he was like talking about how he was like standing there and all these legends are around him and he's like trying everything. And he was the one, I believe he was the one who started the autograph thing. Like it sort of spread, but it was like everybody in the whole room was like scared to ask for an autograph.
That's right. At the end, so it's like at the end of a football game where they take their jerseys off. It's
exactly. So he was the one who started it basically and was basically humble enough to go, I really want to get, Stevie Wonder's autograph, right?
Speaking of documentaries and marketing, did you watch your Dallas Cowboys Netflix?
I have not watched it yet. I have not.
I'm sure like you've had everybody reaching out to you like, oh my God.
There's been a couple that have reached out about the documentary. I mean, because it's, look, it's a content marketing piece more than anything else. I mean, it's
called America's Team.
Yeah, it's a puff piece.
Of course it is.
It's a puff piece for Jerry Jones, right? So, I don't need to watch it per se. What I've had more people reaching out to me is like, oh, what do you think about Micah Parsons and the trade and all that? It's like, okay.
I almost texted you.
Yeah,
I saw it come up. I was at a digital detox bar, but I couldn't text you.
Yeah, there it is.
I was trying to mentally, like, what kind of feelings? I'm going to predict that you think that Jerry Jones should have paid him the money and not get the picks.
No,
what do you think?
I'm not mad that they traded him. I think he was fairly toxic in the locker room. He's a big personality. There are some who say that he cared more about his podcast than he did about playing. He kind of disappears in the playoffs. He disappears in big games, basically. And most of that is because teams have figured out how to sort of control him in big games. So he's,
they double and triple team him because
exactly.
Dallas doesn't have
That's
the
right.
complementary to
That's
help.
right. That's right. So he has splashy stats. And when you look at the money, it's like, okay, you can build the team around one guy who really is kind of a very special kind of player. You have to have a very special kind of defense to use him. So I wasn't mad. What I was mad about was they should have just done it when they could have gotten like a king's ransom for him, right? In the early part of the year.
They should have done it during the draft.
Pre-draft. They should have done it pre-draft. They should have just bit the bullet and done it pre-draft. And so I personally think both sides just made it not work, but it was just sort of a very set of unfortunate circumstances that, basically both sides played it poorly. And so I think they sort of made the best out of what they could. Yeah. But look, he gets paid. He gets his big payday. He gets to go to another team and get his, giant, check. We get a good player. We get a lot of money off our books, and and we'll see. We'll ultimately see whether it was smart or not.
Yeah, and speaking of that, do you want to talk? We're gonna talk about NFL later in the.
We're gonna do a regular show, and we're gonna sort of make it a fast and furious, go through the news, go through what's going on, and then we will actually we're gonna talk a little bit about the NFL and some predictions at the end. So basically, you'll get your normal show. If you hate the NFL stuff and you can save it for last, you can turn it off, or you can just listen in and listen to us two chuckleheads talk about the NFL, because it is today, literally as we record, opening day. My Dallas Cowboys will be playing.
And I want to get your
tonight.
prediction about today's game as well. But also, what I want to do is I want to go into my YouTube analytics and I want to see at what point does it drop off a cliff.
Exactly. At the 39-minute mark, and he said NFL, basically everybody died.
Like you could see, I can already see, like at the 8-minute mark of this show, we were losing them because we started talking about Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, no, this is just temporary. They all came back. It's okay.
All right. Speaking of shows, we've got a good one. We're going to open up and we're going to talk about the Goog. Google's decision won't have to sell off Chrome. That's right. The judge to the Google. Well, you're guilty, but you can still keep your shiny toy. Then we'll talk about the marketing AI boom, and it faces a crisis of consumer mistrust. Turns out AI wants your trust, and consumers would like a word with its lawyer, please. Then we'll get to our winners and losers, where I will talk about a winner, which is an agency that made a short art film. I think it's just amazing. On that, Joe will talk about creators taking over the cast of Saturday Night Live. Then we'll get to our Rants and Raves, where I will provide a little bit of commentary on it went viral this week on LinkedIn that ChatGPT, OpenAI, basically has opened up a job rec for a content strategist at $300K a year, and provide my commentary on that. And Joe will provide a rant on the VOA, the Voice of America, which is the headline, VOA gutted again.
This will be my last one, by the way.
Yeah.
I have to.
And it will almost certainly make it impossible for us to promote this on YouTube advertising.
Can't do it. Yeah, I know, it's my fault. We should probably talk about that sometime.
We should,
because I'll talk about it during the Voice of America thing.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it at the end.
Maybe we're only monitored during the front part. Well,
maybe
we already busted. We probably already lost.
Yeah, we probably
YouTube
already
access.
Yeah, right. So, as soon as we mentioned YouTube, we probably got YouTube. All right.
Okay.
Let's open up with our first story here. Our big story here is the Google decision, and of course, that is something that everybody has been waiting on. You and I have pontificated ad nauseum about it. We've provided predictions, and our predictions pretty much came exactly as expected.
Yes.
This is going to come from PBS, although just about every mainstream media is covering this. The headline from PBS is that the judge orders search shakeup in Google monopoly case. And funny enough, depending on the news outlet, I found the headlines very fascinating.
Right.
Some were like, Google wins but loses, right? Doesn't have to sell off Chrome. Another one said, the judge actually made Google, blush or whatever. It's like it's so fascinating the way that the various news outlets chose their headlines here. Anyway, this PBS story opens up by saying a federal judge on Tuesday ordered a shakeup of Google's search engine in an attempt to curb the corrosive power of an illegal monopoly while rebuffing the U.S. government's attempt to break up the company and impose other restraints. The 226-page decision made by U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta in Washington, D.C. will likely ripple across the technological landscape at a time when the industry is being reshaped by breakthroughs in AI, including conversational answer engines, as companies like ChatGPT and Perplexity try to upend Google's long-held position and the internet's main gateway. The article goes on to talk about it, but basically the net of it, the judgment is that they don't have to sell off anything. They just, the real judgment here is that they have to make their search engine deals non-exclusive, which everybody's talking about. Basically the big one, the elephant in the room, of course, is their $20 billion a year deal with Apple to provide search for Safari and for your iPhones and stuff like that as sort of the search engine. And now that will be non-exclusive, which to me is a great big nothing burger, because Apple's not switching to Bing anytime soon, let's be honest. And they were fine to pay $20 billion. So I'm sure they're fine to continue to pay $20 billion, and ain't nobody else lining up. So this to me is like a full on, like, other than having to pay a little bit of thing and make your search not exclusive and share some data, a little more transparency about how the algorithm and things work. This feels like Google won in every, it's really, they didn't really lose anything. I mean, is that tracking with you?
No, your comment about the media sites, because I did go through and say, okay, how'd the Times look at this? Okay, what about the Post and whatever? And they really did all say that Google took a little bit of a hit. It was a total win. This is a double touchdown,
right,
if you will, for Google, because all they have to do is share part of their data. By the way, we don't even know what part of the data it is. It could be the crappy part, the data that nobody cares about, with search engines like Bing and DuckDuckGo. I'm almost laughing at some of these results that they have to do this. They don't have to sell anything off. There's really no antitrust issue at all. By the way, why is Google even appealing this? Google should just be like, yes, let's go. Is it that they don't want to be found that they were guilty? I mean, I don't get why they don't just, because they're going to keep their $20 billion Apple deal.
Yeah,
assuredly, right? So that's going to happen. And I mean, by the way, I don't disagree with the results of this, because when this started, our reality was much different about search engine dominance than it is now. I mean, it is clear that in the next very short period of time, it will not be, and it probably isn't now. Like, I don't think that you could say that Google is the leader in search findings, because I think people are using TikTok and they're using AI. And if you looked at total search, I don't know if Google's necessarily leading the way in total search, or they have a majority. But we'll see how that goes. Big win.
Yeah, it's a huge win. It's a huge win.
Big win for a big win for any large company with multiple billions of dollars that want to go and buy other companies as well. Like, this is almost this was turning the light on and saying, yeah, let's go. Like, we're not paying attention anymore. We're going to have a free for all. Go ahead and let's have a party like it's 1929 again.
That's right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this spurs on in terms of some of the other antitrust sort of lawsuits that have been filed. I think the most interesting thing in terms of what you just said is around the why are they appealing it, and the only thing I can think of is that they do have to be. So the fascinating thing here is all the first party data stuff, right? The first party data and data, and third party data that for 5 years you've heard me rant about on this show for 5, 6, 7 years about how they were going to deprecate the third party cookie, and then this data and programmatic advertising and all that kind of stuff. If that's the data that ultimately gets talked about having to share more of, in other words, Google came out and said basically, hey, the whole third party, like, forget about it. We're not doing it. Right. And everybody went, oh my God. And, the privacy people had a toxic freak out, and programmatic advertisers went, yes, and so that whole third party deprecation and everything is just not going to happen now. And so what Google may be thinking is, if we have to be a little more transparent, it does provide a bit more competition to our ad network, but B, more importantly, it may just show how flawed that model. It may start to really illustrate how flawed that model is, and therefore what they claim in the view of, say, oh, we want to make sure that our customers have privacy, right, is now sort of lip service to the fact that, yeah, we're going to give you all the goods, right? So they don't really have a hold like they had before on their ad network. So that's the only reason I can think of that they would care that much, is the data that they would now have to theoretically give up.
I mean, I know Google is still, thankfully they're heavily involved in the future of AI with Gemini.
Yeah, that's right.
And with the search results that they have.
Which may play a part in this as well, by the way. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But if you're just looking at their current business model and you look at where they get their revenues from now, you're going to have to see one of the most incredible business pivots of all time for them to survive at the level that they're at right now. I'm not saying that Google's going away. I'm just saying.
I think Google's in a fine place. I think they're in a fine place.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, look at where they get their revenue from, and that is slowly going away, because there's no way that you're going to
very slowly.
I think that
slowly.
I think that the majority, we don't even know this, the majority of traffic that websites are getting are going to start coming from AI bots and agents. They're absolutely going to get there. We're going to see a whole generation of, we have to set up our CMSs, not necessarily for human beings. We have to set them up so making sure that it is visible and usable to the agents underlying that. What that does is it cuts out everything that Google stands for from a business models.
I'm not sure I buy that.
You don't have to buy it. It's happening, sweetheart. It's just absolutely happening. And I don't know how, from the amount of money, they're not a diversified company from a revenue standpoint. No, they're not.
Google's going to be just fine. Google's going to be just fine.
I understand that. I didn't say that Google was going to go and, with their tail between their legs and they're going whimpering. What I'm saying is I don't see a way of them dominating and growing like they have been in the past.
Google's going to be just
that
fine.
Window.
Yeah, Google's going to be just fine.
Why is Google going to be just fine?
Because they've got lots of time. The whole AI agent thing is way more overhyped than it is. It's going to take a lot longer than just the end of next year, or even 2 years or 3 years from now before that becomes like a thing. And in the meantime, the Google search continues to be the dominant factor by not a small amount. And so they've got plenty of time to figure things out. They are taking it slowly, and they're going to be just fine.
You know who is just fine as well? Sears.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
People said the same thing. The thing is I'm not saying this doesn't happen in a year. This happens.
I know it doesn't happen in a year. It doesn't happen in 5 years. This is a steady decline
to say like you could probably make a good case that in 10 years, they're not a top 10 company anymore.
Oh,
by market cap. 10 years in market cap, you can pretty much put it in the books. They're not a top 10 company.
Totally take that bet. I would totally.
You think we're still going to be doing this podcast in 10 years?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
You know what?
Hello, Joe. I'm here doing the podcast.
I lost my shoes.
2035.
I can't do
episode 2463, brought to you by the HubSpot podcast something or other. I can't remember.
It's not even going to be podcast. What is this? What is it going to be?
I don't know.
We're not even. We're going to be holograms.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to be doing. No, it's like we're going to still be doing the podcast, but it's not going to be us.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be our AI. Yes, there you go.
Our AI people. They're going to do it. And we're going to be watching it and say, yeah, it was a great episode.
Hey, speaking of AI agents, see how I segued that? That was a beautiful segue. It's a beautiful segue. So we're going to segue now. We have our new ad for September to show. It's totally fun.
Oh, it's going so good.
We promised you Yacht Rock, and I'm just going to say it now. We delivered. We delivered on Yacht Rock.
Okay. So I'm very excited to see this again. Here we go.
Enjoy this.
Started out with nothing but a mic and a vibe. 2 dudes in a basement trying hard to survive. Told ourselves we'd keep it real and weird and free, and threw our soul on a 30-second ad retro. We're just paying the bills. Got a yacht rock beat and some corporate chills. If you hear smooth jazz over park jets plugs, that's not a sellout, it's a financial. Yeah, we're just paying the bills, singing love songs to our vendor deals. From email drip to HubSpot fills, we keep it breezy while the algorithm stays.
Being a know-it-all used to be considered a bad thing, but in business, it's everything. Because right now, most businesses only use 20% of their data, unless you have HubSpot, where data that's buried in emails, call logs, and meeting notes, well, they become insights that help you grow your business. Because when you know more, you grow more. You see, being a know-it-all isn't so bad. Visit HubSpot.com today to learn more. Are you looking to create like the greats? Well, let me introduce you to a podcast called Create Like the Greats. It's hosted by Ross Simmons, and each episode hosts an in-depth analysis of some of the greatest creations and creators of all time, along with deep dive conversations on the creative process that went into building companies, brands, stories, and more. If you like learning about history, learning about the creative process, and are a laid-back person, you're going to like this podcast. It's perfect for anyone who wants to learn how to systematize their creativity in a way that allows them to be more productive and still be organized. You'll find Create Like the Greats wherever you find your favorite pods.
We're just paying the bills. Got a yacht rock beat and some corporate chills. If you hear smooth jazz over podcast plugs, that's not a sellout, it's a financial. We're just paying the bills, singing love songs to our
Oh my God.
Come on now.
You know, people,
Come on
you
now.
have to watch this on YouTube. You got to see it.
Yeah.
There's, I could ghost. First of all, it totally messes with your head.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're on the boat watching the dolphins. I'm faced the wrong way.
Right.
I don't know what's going on there.
Right.
But you and I jogging down on beat, jogging down the avenue with all the people.
That was my piece de resistance. That was just that was so good.
good.
My other favorite is the prompt for it was, I want 1,000 people walking out of the ocean with saxophones.
But they're walking in.
Yeah, I know they're walking
they're
into the
they're
going into the ocean.
The water.
Yeah, into the ocean,
So
and they all have saxophones. It's so good.
But I'll tell you what, and this is the problem, is because I listened to this and I've been singing it.
Yeah.
We're just paying the bills.
Oh, it's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah, I mean, you outdid yourself.
Thank you. Yes,
stealing
thank
all
you.
that,
Again,
stealing all that AI from everybody.
As usual, the lyrics are the funnest part to write. Writing the lyrics is.
And you wrote those are your lyrics. Correct?
Those are my lyrics. Those are correct. That's correct. My lyrics to create the song structure.
So good.
Yeah, because if you notice in there, there's the thing that, you know, it says basically, I think the lyric is pay it, you know, keeping it easy and breezy to pay our vendors, like from email drips to HubSpot lips or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice job. Thank you.
That was
how
totally
long?
good.
How long did that take you to put together?
It was my Saturday. It was an all day. It was an all day
yeah.
sort of thing. It's and most of that, honestly, is you have to generate so many clips to get usable stuff. Like, I just gave up on the boat thing because it would not turn you around. It just would not turn you. what I wanted.
No, it knew. See, it knew.
The
It
prompt.
knew. I didn't want to face.
By the way, the prompt, which I wanted and I just couldn't get, was I wanted the Titanic scene. I wanted you holding me.
Oh God.
On the front of the boat in a Titanic pose. And I tried so many different ways to get that done, and it just didn't happen. So that's what it kept coming back with. That's why our arms are locked, I think. But but totally fun. But yeah, it was my entire Saturday.
The good thing is we were saving each other. That's what.
Yeah,
we were
exactly.
He saved you. You saved him right back.
That's right.
That's how
exactly.
it works. All right, good deal.
That's a good callback for a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, let's actually get to our next story here, which is about the marketing AI boom. I didn't know if you guys realize this, but yeah, AI has become a little bit of a thing in marketing, and this comes to us courtesy of the Artificial Intelligence News, which is a news site that I hadn't really heard about that much. And basically, the article opens up by saying the vast majority, 92% of marketing professionals are using AI in their day-to-day operations, turning it from a buzzword into a workhorse. I don't know that I believe that number, but okay, fine, I'll go to that. According to SAP Emarsis, that's their email marketing program, which took the pulse of over 10,000 consumers and 1,250 marketers. While businesses are seeing real benefits from AI, shoppers are becoming increasingly distrustful, especially when it comes to their personal data. This divide could easily unravel the personalized shopping experience that brands are working so hard to build. The rush to bring AI into marketing has been fast and decisive, as Sarah Richter, CMO at SAP Emarsis, put it. AI marketing is now fully in motion. It has transitioned from the theoretical to the practical as marketers welcome AI into their strategies and test possibilities. And for business, the appeal is obvious, but the article goes on to basically say the shoppers have a different story. The report reveals a personalization gap where the efforts of marketers aren't hitting the mark, even with heavy investments in AI. Tailoring 40% of consumers feel that brands just don't get them as people. So then it goes on to talk about some of the stuff we've talked about before with personalization and the challenges therein. I'm struggling to put AI together with this, to be honest with you, because I don't think most companies are using AI for personalization at this point. But did you have I definitely have a take on this from the technology and personalization and AI perspective, but what do you think?
I don't know about the personalization. I would agree with you. I think that the 92% of marketing professionals, that's probably low. I know, like, my friend group who aren't marketers at all, who are not in savvy businesses, they're all using AI, every one of them, for all kinds of stuff. So from that standpoint, I would believe that the number is probably closer to 100% of marketing professionals, just even if they're dabbling in it. So from that standpoint, I believe it. The whole thing about people see privacy concerns and personal data concerns, that's BS. I think for the most part, I don't think people are, even since the dawn of privacy, how many times have we talked about it? People will give up anything. They're not reading any terms and agreement, whatever you want. If it'll make my life better and easier in some way, they will give up the farm, which is why we're in the position that we're in right now. So I don't believe that at all. I don't know where they got that stat from.
Yeah. I'll second that and basically say, if you ask people if they care about their data privacy, 92% or 100% of people will say, yes, I care. But then if you actually press them and say, well, when was the last time you looked at your settings on your Facebook page, for example, or when was the last time you actually checked out and downloaded an ad blocker or, data blocker? It's like never. Like, people don't care that much. What they care about is the reverse, which is when it's thrown in their face. In other words, when it's done poorly. When you see something that is just completely trying to be personalized, but is ultimately just wrong and not personal at all, but it does the sort of Mad Lib fill in the blank thing where it calls attention to itself that it's actually using your data to spit back and regurgitate your data back to you. And that's when people go, ooh, and they feel the ick. And unfortunately, where we are with AI at this moment, it's kind of like that, right? And I tell this story all the time. Basically, I get emails, direct messages on LinkedIn and emails all the time that are clearly written by AI and clearly using the data that they've pulled from my LinkedIn profile, for example. And it's just clear that the AI is trying to put synonyms to the things that are in my profile and basically regurgitate out some message that it thinks I will align with, but it just gives you, it feels icky, and you just go, this is not right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what I've been calling it is precisely wrong, right? That the AI is precisely incorrect when it comes to personalization, is getting it technically correct, but it feels wrong. And so that's the thing that I really think is at play here, is whether it's AI or sort of traditional Mad Lib sort of fill in data blanks, personalization, that doesn't matter. The point is that it's not personal. The message isn't personal, and that's what's giving people the ick and the distrust, not the actual technology itself.
Just on somewhat related point, did you see Salesforce's results that came out? They just came out with results on the thing that I thought was interesting in it. Benioff is basically gloating over the fact that they're laying off so many people, and he's citing AI. He's basically like, and there's more of these companies that are coming out with these results saying our goal is to lay off as many people as possible. Now, I'm not even saying that it's because of AI. I'm telling you, they're saying it. The CEOs are coming out and saying we are leaning more heavily into AI. We're able to lay off more and more people, and of course, what happens? Stock price goes up.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's kind of nuts what's going on when you have CEOs out there that are gloating over the fact that, we're really leaning into this AI.
There was an article in Business Insider this week, and I don't subscribe to Business Insider, so and I don't particularly like Business Insider, but as you know, but the headline was basically $2 billion CEO says he's got 80% of his workforce now completely automated through AI agents, and it's just such bullshit. It's just such BS, and it's like, but these stories are just they're racing up the pop charts because for some reason we are so ready to believe all of this, and it's just it's so frustrating that this is becoming the narrative of how tech. Go back thousands of years, technology has never been the thing that facilitates the transformation. It is always the people that facilitate the transformation. And so it's just, if we're not we're training our tech, but we're not training our people, and thus we think that's going to be magic, and it's just not going to be.
All I can say is Mel Gibson didn't believe in aliens in the movie Signs until he cut the alien's fingers off that was trying to get out of the pantry.
Wow. That is the weirdly specific and oddly accurate.
This movie would, or this podcast wouldn't exist without pop culture.
That's right. Our pop culture references are
we're a pop culture podcast.
We're on fleek. Remember On Fleek? That was like a thing for a while.
That's sus. It tracks.
That's sus. That tracks. That's tracking. That's tracking.
All right.
Okay. Let's get to our winners and losers here quickly so that we can have a little bit of time to talk about NFL and whatnot. So our winners and losers this week, where we pick a winner in the last week of marketing or a loser in the last week of marketing. Would you like to go first and talk about creators in the Saturday Night Live?
Oh, yeah. Real quick. So they announced, if you follow SNL signings and the people that come and go and whatever, which I do, I like to see who are the new cast members and who are the old ones. It seems like they have a lot of new cast members this year that are pretty substantial creators. And the reason why I think this is relevant, by the way, one of my son's favorite comedians, Cam Patterson, he made it. We saw him in person just a couple months ago, and these creators have millions of followers, and SNL is basically taking a page out of what we've talked about with influencer marketing and creator marketing for a long time. Let's find the people that work for us if they have audiences already, and that will jumpstart our marketing. And when you have some of these kids, let's see, Ben Marshall, Cam Patterson, I don't know. The only one I know is Cam Patterson out of this, but I looked at going through and they all have like multiple millions of followers. So when they do something on SNL, they're obviously going to promote it on their own channels. And I would assume you'll get a nice marketing bump. So, I mean, you have SNL who they've done things very traditionally over the time, because you basically had to know somebody. Right. You had to get into the right channels. You had to, You have to make sure you get in front of what's the creator's name? I totally forgot.
Lorne Michaels.
Lorne Michaels. Like, you had to get in front of Lorne. Lorne had to like you.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to know somebody to get that meeting, whatever. You have to have an agent, whatever. And you're not seeing that as much anymore. You've got these creators going around. They build these audiences. They're getting in. And I think ultimately that's going to help for the marketing of SNL, because it's the first time in a long time where you have these individuals that nobody heard about before, except in these small sects, that they have these huge audiences come to the table. I just think it's interesting. Yeah.
It's fascinating. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really interesting to see how so many of the TV shows, what we would say classically see as TV shows, including, by the way, news, comedy shows, basically anything where there's sort of quote unquote talking heads or sort of performances by people, are really leaning into the whole, you know what, the success now isn't determined by from 11 to 12 p.m. on Saturday night, right? Success of any show is not determined in that 1 hour. And in fact, that may be the least viewed hour of the content. Success of the show is determined by the 5 days that follow the show as it was done, and the clips and everything that, it's like Daily Show now. Daily Show isn't made to success because, Jon Stewart is doing it on Monday from, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. No, it's done because the clips of Jon Stewart are replayed over and over and over again on YouTube and on TikTok and everywhere else the 5 days that follow. And it's a very interesting time. But
I think, yeah, if you want a certain position, wherever that is, if it's a governmental position, if it's a position on a talk show somewhere, if it's you want to be an industry thought leader, you want to be a writer for somebody, whatever, the prescription is the same: build an audience, and then you don't bypass all those traditional gatekeepers and go right to the top. It's not easy, by the way. I don't think that, build an audience, it's so easy. But I'm just saying that is the easier way to go than to say, I'm going to this position, I'm going to do this internship, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to do that, I'm going to 18%, and in 20 years, I'm going to get to that point. No, forget that.
Yeah.
3 to 5 years, build an audience.
That's exactly right. All right,
what do you got?
All right. So I got an article from Marketing Brew here, but it's not really the article as much as the idea that I love so much. So it's basically promoting this ad agency called Portal A, who wanted to make and made an indie short film. I have not watched the film yet, so I don't know how good it is, but I do know that it has won awards, and it is an artful. It's not built to be content marketing. It's not built to be any sort of ad for one of their clients. They literally did it, as the CEO said, basically because they wanted to create something cool and interesting and meaningful and artistic. They wanted to create art. And so years ago, I wrote about this, and probably will again. And I asked the question, can business create art? In other words, is there any purpose to a business creating just art, not for any sort of monetary outcome, not for any sort of conversion, not for any sort of promotional purposes, but literally just to create something that people can enjoy, and is art ultimately? And my conclusion is, of course, yes. And there are great examples of this, by the way. There are examples of people, companies either commissioning artists in the past, and or creating the art themselves. Everything from, you go all the way back to Andy Warhol, who started out as an artist and was commissioned by the agency he worked for to create art, and ultimately created ads as well. Norman Rockwell was a famous artist that was also worked in advertising, and all of these kinds of things. There's a long history of this, of companies, and it's really just lovely. And this is why I'm calling them a winner this week for Portal A, is because it's just lovely to see an agency actually putting their money and their efforts where their mouth is, and actually making something artistic, making something that exercises their creative muscle. And in a way, you can argue, basically does bolster their resume, or provides a little bit of a brand lift, or whatever you want to look at it as. There's a business aspect to it, but it doesn't feel like they did it for that purpose. It feels like they basically did it to to exercise their creative muscle and see if they could do something like that. And I love that. And I'm hoping to see more of that as we continue forward, whether it's an agency or whether it's a business, sort of taking risks again and doing creative things that are out of the box and that are built for nothing other than for people to enjoy it.
But still content marketing.
Yeah,
right?
in a way.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree with you. Like you could say, yeah, we wanted to create this art and we wanted to see if we had this kind of muscle or build out this muscle. But at the same time, it's probably going to get them business.
Yeah,
because somebody's going to see it, they like it. I like that style,
or somebody licenses it, and Netflix licenses it, or somebody like that, and licenses it, and becomes a revenue generator, and then it fits into our our killing marketing model.
Yeah.
So you got that going.
I like it. That's
all right. Very quickly here, our rants and raves where Joe and I go off on a little bit of a rant or a little bit of a rave that makes us feel like, well, we want to, I don't know, steal a hat from a kid or not steal a hat from a kid. Anyway,
is he a hat? Is he a hat stealer?
It's a hat, and it's not even good. It wasn't even a good hat. It wasn't even a good.
Was it a visor?
It was like, it was one of those stupid, flat, soft, non-structured hats. I have a real
non-structured hats are the worst
my pet peeve
in the world.
They're my pet peeve.
Is when you go to a lid store or whatever, you get all the proper lids, and then you get the ones that somebody could like scrunch up and put in their pocket.
That's right.
They do not belong. Those are not hats.
Those are not hats.
Those are head coverings. That's what those are. So,
okay, let's hear about the VOA, my friend.
This is my last rant on the VOA. Basically, they announced this week that layoff notices were going to 532 employees from the Voice of America. They say there are 100 left. I can't find a lot of work being done right now at all. If you go to the site, VOA site, they don't. The most recent articles from March 15th.
Okay.
So the reason, and I don't have to go back into it. I've talked about this on 2 other episodes, but you can't get.
You're careful with your words here.
I'm already.
You're already editing yourself.
I'm trying to edit myself. We can talk about why I'm trying to, but it's done. You can't get this back, folks. This is very high. This was built over an 80-year period into a media company that was trusted by millions of people around the world, and it has been dismantled in a very short period of time, and it's very hard to get that back. And that's the problem is that some of these things that are going away, we're not going to get back. And this was one that I loved, and I always thought was a great one of the greatest content marketing pieces for the US, and now it's going away. And it's just sort of, this is the last one that I'll see where, okay, it is done. I don't know, just upset. I'm just upset.
It's sad. It's really disappointing is really what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of thing that you're not going to get back. It's the classic, trust is the hardest thing to build and the easiest thing to lose, right? It's just, it's going to be very, very difficult to get that level of trust back. So even if it comes back, right? So it's
I don't think maybe it'll come back in a different form. It's certainly not going to come back in this kind of form.
Exactly. Which is
the infrastructure to make a news organization run like this.
Exactly.
So anyway, so
okay.
What do you got?
So last week, and this went completely viral, OpenAI opened up a new job rec and put it up on LinkedIn for a content strategist. And basically, the role looks very much typical, like a content strategist, you would think. Basically, they're saying own the content strategy for chatgpt.com, aligning it to growth, acquisition, and product goals, create, write, and edit high quality content from landing pages to guides to campaigns that drives traffic and adoptions, define and evolve the voice and tone across owned web surfaces, partner with SEO growth, build and maintain a scalable content framework and editorial calendar, develop messaging hierarchies that explain, use data research and experimentation to refine content for maximum, basically it's really content marketing
content
strategy. It's not really content strategy. It's more content marketing strategy than it is anything else. But it's from a content strategy perspective, like they don't mention anything about governance and the ways, that you're going to create workflow and manage technology and manage, all of those kinds of things. But what everybody's freaking out about is one, the irony of basically, ChatGPT killing off jobs, in the sense that they're killing off content strategy and content writers and creators, as they simultaneously look for one. And so people are pointing out that irony. And then the second thing that people are freaking out about is like $300,000 to $400,000 a year, basically, for a salary, which, look, I've been in this market a long time. Maybe VPs, chief content officers are getting that kind of money, but it's a high salary. And so, clearly they're looking for someone quite senior here. But although they only say 6 to 10 plus years of experience. And so the way I come down on this is like, I'm less muffed about this than a lot of people, because I think, look, OpenAI has classically been awful at messaging, awful at marketing, awful at their brand, creating a trusted brand. They had a new CMO come in. I believe she came in at the end of last year. I want to say December, and then the Super Bowl commercial was sort of her big, sort of introduction to the strategy, and things have gotten better. I would say, I wouldn't say that they're great at the moment. They still don't really, I don't think, create a lot of trust. They're mostly running off of sort of, momentum of the marketplace in general, rather than any sort of differentiating brand that's out there.
Yeah.
And so when I look at a content strategist position here, one, I'm assuming that they're probably looking for more than, this is probably their first foray, and then they're looking for a team, because one person is not going to run this for the entire company. They're going to need, a lot more people to do what they're sort of asking to do here. And so this feels like the start. It also strikes me that this could very much be a marketing job, right? This could, in other words, this is them sort of doing it. There's a lot of this going on LinkedIn right now, where companies are putting out job recs as brand awareness and list building efforts. And a lot of this could be, unfortunately, I think this could be that as well, where they create a very, very, very attractive position, get a lot of people. I mean, hundreds of people have applied for this, and basically do this as an awareness building campaign. And there's not really a job like this that exists. So that's
mean.
Yeah, that's my conspiracy tinfoil hat sort of thing working there. But if they do hire somebody and they do pay them the money, then good for them. I think that's a great opportunity. The thing that strikes me so much is, look, and I don't mean to sound like I'm puffing out my own feathers here, but I kind of know like all of the really great content strategists that are out there. And I really don't mean this as to brag or to be a humble brag or anything, but I've kind of been around long enough. Like, I know who like should get that job. And so I'm so curious as to who's going to get it, right? Because it's given what they're looking for. If we don't know who it is when they hire the person, then we'll have a hint one way or the other about how real this was.
It'll be interesting to see. And then the other thing is, maybe this is the person, and the team underneath this person are AI agents.
Yeah, well, whatever.
You hate that.
That would be.
You hate it.
Yeah, I do hate it. I do hate that. I'm not.
It's happening, sweetheart.
But the thing is, you might not be wrong. That's the unfortunate part. Yeah.
Well, if there was going to be a content marketing team put together with agents, OpenAI seemed to be the right place to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Let's talk about some football. So folks, we're going to just transition and talk a little bit about football in the 10 minutes that we have left, and do some quick prognostication and just celebrate the opening day. It is opening day, literally, as we record this. This is opening weekend. Joe and I are super excited. So sorry, you're going to get some of this in the shows for the remainder of the year until both of our teams are eliminated, probably in the early part of December. So
maybe week 4 for the Browns,
exactly.
week 9 or 10 for the Cowboys. Well, first of all, my question to you is, and I know when this comes out on Friday morning, the game will be over, but do you have a prediction on tonight's game against the Eagles versus the Cowboys?
Yeah. My prediction is an Eagles win. He said very, very, very begrudgingly. But my prediction is that because the Cowboys typically do start slow. And so they start rusty and they start slow. So even though we're completely healthy, I believe the Eagles are just going to be too much at home. Opening night, they're celebrating their Super Bowl win. It's a huge night for them. They're not going to give one up so I'm giving this one to the Eagles.
Yep.
All I'm hoping for really is either, of course, an upset or that they show a lot of polish, a lot of fight, and a sort of the new personality that I'm hoping Schottenheimer brings to them. So that's my prediction.
It makes me think of Rocky 3 and the Clubber Lang interview when the journalist comes. Clubber, what is your prediction over tonight?
Pain.
There will be pain. Okay, that's fair enough. I would love to see Dak Prescott perform well because I've got him on 2 of my fantasy teams.
There you go.
Go Dak. So we're going to see that. So why don't you I'll do my Browns. I think we've already done it, but I want to do my Browns prediction. You do your Cowboys prediction end of the year. So I'm predicting the Cleveland Browns to end up, I hate to say this, 4-13.
Oof.
I'm usually wrong because usually when I predict a horrible season for the Browns, they end up making the playoffs. So
I think they're going to go 8-9 this year. I think it's going to be an even year for them. I think Flacco magic is going to take over.
Maybe Shadur Sanders or Gabriel. Magic.
No.
So I think it's 1 or 2. Is nothing in between.
Yeah.
So you're in between. It's going to be 4-13 or 11-6.
Yeah. Okay.
One or the other.
Okay.
What do you got for the Cowboys?
I'm doing the Cowboys at probably 10-7.
Really?
Yeah. I'm ever hopeful. Wild card, I think, because I don't think they're going to win the division. Maybe a wild card. Let's hope for a wild card. I think that could be it. But by the way, it's either wild card in the playoffs or it's 3 and whatever it is, 3-14 or whatever, right? It's not going to, I'm with you. It's not going to be average. It's going to be either a really gutted season because it's everybody's first go at this. I mean, it's such a new team. They're all new pretty much.
Except for Dak, who's now old.
And the coaches are all new, but they got great coaches. So we'll see. So I think it's one or the other. I think they're going to do great or not at all.
They do have the best kicker in the game right
now. They do.
So that's important.
They do. And it's all on Dak, right? If Dak has another MVP like season, then I think they'll go, they can go as far as they want to go. If he doesn't, I mean, look, I'm very heartened by their receiving core this year. They've got a great receiver room. They don't have a great running back room, but we'll see. Yeah.
I predict that Dak Prescott will lead the league in passing yards.
It could
passing yards.
That's a very much a possibility, and still miss the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're going to be terrible, but he's going to break all the. I hope they do well. Of course, we would love to see a Browns Cowboys Super Bowl, but that's not going to happen in our lifetime. All right. So where do you want to start? I have the 2 league championships ready to go for you, and a Super Bowl champion.
Okay.
Who do you want? What do you want?
Where do you want me to start?
I'm going to give you my AFC, and then I want to hear your AFC.
Okay.
Finals.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
So my AFC championship is going to be the Ravens against the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, okay.
That's what I have.
Okay.
Ravens and Bills.
Yep.
What do you have, sir?
Ravens and Texans.
That's what I had last year. Texans.
Yeah.
They cacked it.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
I think the Texans are on. I think the Texans are going to light the world on fire this year.
It's up to CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
really?
Exactly.
Right?
He's so good. That kid is so good.
I think
that's my quarterback. That's my fantasy quarterback. CJ Stroud is my fantasy quarterback.
The expectations were too high for CJ last year. I think the sophomore year is just way too much. Coming into his third year, you always have a better third year.
Exactly. So I think he's gonna light it.
What is your NFC championship game?
This one is so tough. This one is so tough. I think. I mean, Detroit's one of them. I think Detroit. And it's really hard for me emotionally to pick the Eagles again.
Oh, no.
I think it's probably Detroit and the Eagles.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Eagles are good.
I know. They're really good. They're really good. And they only got better. They only got better from last year.
But the good news here is I'm not picking either one of those teams.
Okay. All right.
I have the correct picks here.
Do you have the Green Bay Packers? If you have the Green Bay Packers, I might have to pop you in the mouth.
No. It's even worse. It's even worse.
Okay. The Rams? Don't say it's the Rams again.
Nope. I have the Washington Commanders.
Oh, no.
Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is going off the charts this year.
Tampa Bay is really going to be good. Tampa Bay, I think, is a good sleeper team. I think Tampa Bay Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay is a good sleeper team.
So I have Commanders at Bucks. So I have Ravens and Bills on the FC and Commanders and Bucks.
Okay, it's not going to be the Commanders. It's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, it is because your MVP is going to be Jaden Daniels.
No, it's not.
Your MVP.
That kid's going to get found out.
Your MVP is Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
it's going to be really, really amazing. Who's your MVP? Do you got one?
Boy, that's a tough one too. I think MVP might be. Oh God, it's so tough this year. It could be CJ Stroud. It could be. It could be Lamar. I'm gonna go with CJ Stroud for MVP.
Okay.
Maybe Josh Allen. Maybe he's. I don't know if Josh is good. I don't know if Josh has got another year in the tank. I don't know. We're gonna find out. But it's not gonna be Jaden Daniels. I know that much. Yeah.
You know nothing.
Yeah.
You know nothing. You pick with your heart. I don't pick with my heart.
I pick with my heart and my head. I'm a full body.
Okay,
picker.
so who do you have? Who do you have in the Super Bowl matchup?
Well, I guess it would be the Texans and probably Detroit.
Texans and Lions. We've got to keep track of this because we have to come back to this episode 496. Is this 496? Yeah. Make sure. Okay, Texans and Lions. So yours is Texans and Lions, and mine is the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. Okay.
Bills.
That's a big. That's a bold claim, my friend. It's a bold, stupid claim.
And your winner, your Super Bowl winner, 2025-26 winner is
Detroit.
Detroit Lions. Actually, I would love to see that. I mean, because they've been through so much.
Yeah. For Detroit, it'll be all about if they can stay healthy.
And as with most teams, for sure. And mine is going to be, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a shootout between Baker and Josh Allen. And your winner of the 2026 Super Bowl will be finally the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
They get the monkey off the back.
They finally get their monkey off their back. Yeah.
They're going to win. It's happening, sweetheart.
It's happening, sweetheart.
It's going to be amazing. And now I have one more.
Oh, okay.
I have one more small thing, and this is just for a friend of ours that I have to put it out there.
Okay.
But I do as bad as the Browns are going to be.
Yeah.
They could be terribly bad. They don't finish in last place in their division.
Yeah.
Last place in the North Division goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I know who you're doing that for. Well done. Yeah, you're gonna get a couple of texts on that one.
Oh sure. Yeah. He'll give me the thumbs down and go weak.
Yeah,
that's what he'll said to me. No, that's good. Okay, we got some. So we'll have to come back to this episode. During Super Bowl time, we'll revisit.
Yep.
Our predictions.
Yeah.
And see how bad we actually were.
That's right.
With this one. But
that's right.
And by the way,
I hope I'm completely wrong. Yeah.
Well, the last time I was this negative over a Browns season, the Browns made the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'm really negative. I'm so incredibly negative over the season. I love Joe Flacco. There's Flacco fever, man.
Yeah.
It's going on.
Yeah.
But it might only go on for a game.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Good. All right. That's it.
Very good.
That's it. Good.
Okay.
What do we got going on this week?
This weekend, not a lot. Just some work. Got to do some work. I weirdly have to go over to my storage unit. We have, all of our sort of excess boxes and stuff and records and furniture and paintings and stuff like that over in storage. One of those, sort of public storage places. And they're doing roof work. And so they send us an email basically saying, hey, you got to cover all your stuff unless you want to get your, stuff all covered in dust. So we have to go over. That's my weekend project, is to go over to the public storage place. And it's really exciting, sexy stuff. Go cover all my stuff up with plastic so that it doesn't get all dusty.
Maybe you should just get rid of your stuff.
We should. As I've said to my wife many times, it's basically we're paying for all that stuff twice, right? We're basically it's all that stuff's on layaway, and we continue to pay for it. It's like, but there's some, there's a lot of like heirlooms and stuff from the family and stuff, like you just don't want to get rid of. And I get China, some of it.
You need the China.
The China. Easy now.
It's never gonna make the cut.
No, that's true.
We're gonna get flagged again for all sorts of things. We'll open up about our issues getting flagged on YouTube. See, I already did it. It's already gone. Anyways, we're having a bunch of friends over this weekend.
Nice.
We're gonna have a wonderful little soiree at the Polizzi household, and then of course we'll be watching the Browns hopefully beat the Bengals on Sunday. So this might be their, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just glad it's football season. I know you are too.
I know too.
We love our Sundays.
Yeah, exactly. Do some cooking. Cooking. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. We so appreciate you being here, and we will see you again next week with a regular show, and we'll see how things go for our opening weekend. Hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend. And until we see you again next week, just remember, it's your story to tell. Tell it well. We'll see you next week on This Old Marketing. Hey, thanks a lot for making it this far in this week's episode, and thank you all for being a part of This Old Marketing. You can check out all the show notes of what we talked about today at thisoldmarketing.com, and it's also where you can leave us a review or a voicemail. We need those reviews and comments on whichever platform you follow us on. And if you haven't followed the podcast, please go do that and make sure you catch the latest and greatest episodes every Friday morning. We're on Apple and Spotify and all your other favorite podcatchers, of course, but we'd love it if you went over and subscribed to us on YouTube. That's right, YouTube. youtube.com/@thisoldmarketing. We'll see you again next week, folks, with another episode of This Old Marketing.